Can he cement his spot in India's test middle order? Now, this was a title given to an article written by CricBuzz, and it was talking about KL Rahul, a player who's been playing international cricket for the last 10 years. He's currently 32, and yet there are questions on whether or not he's even going to feature in that test middle order. And such has been his career. For a young, aggressive by personality player who was extremely classy and dominated the red ball format, he drew a lot of parallels to Rahul Dravid, and everyone thought that he would be India's next big thing. Despite all of this, KL Rahul might go down as one of the most promising but most underachieving Indian cricketers of all time. And let me paint a picture for you. Go back to the year 2013. There's a 21-year-old kid who's absolutely dominating fast bowling and spin attacks in domestic cricket in India. Here's a man who's got 1033 runs in a single Ranji Trophy season, 3 centuries, 3 scores of 90s, and a Man of the Match award in the final of the Ranji Trophy. And it doesn't stop there. In the subsequent year, he gets picked for 1 crore by the Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL auction, goes on to score twin centuries in the Duleep Trophy final, and post that gets an India call-up to go and play the Border Gavaskar Trophy in Australia. Now, what happens in his first test? 2 failures, 1 and 3. Okay, there's a failure in the first test, but in the second test match at the SCG, alongside Virat Kohli, he gets a century in just his second test match in front of all of that crowd and all that pressure. Huge partnership with Virat Kohli. It's the stuff of dreams. This guy is only 22 years old and he's already come out and done well in just his second test match. And this is the start of things, right? He goes on to score centuries in his 4th and 6th test matches as well. In the middle of all this, he becomes Karnataka's first triple centurion in the Ranji Trophy. He's doing well in red ball, gets an ODI call-up, scores a century on ODI debut. Up till here, whoever's followed him knows that there is some definite potential in this man, and it's for this reason and these examples that I'm taking to put into light how good of a player KL Rahul was when he first arrived on the scene. He consequently goes on to make even his T20I debut, becomes one of the few Indians to score centuries in T20Is, ODIs and Test cricket, multiple hundreds in each format, and you just think what went wrong, or if things are actually going wrong for him to be 10 years down the line in his career and people questioning his test spot. And that's not all, right? He's not just batted at one position. Sure, he's opened the innings for a large part of his career, but he's also come in at 4, 5 and 6 in the limited overs format. Also now in Test cricket, he's also been keeping wickets whenever the team asked him to do so, most recently in the 2023 World Cup and also in one-off Test matches. Here's a man who's done everything he possibly could for the Indian cricket team, and yet there are questions being raised on him. Unfortunately, this is the duality of KL Rahul. He's almost like Schrodinger's cat. When India is in trouble, when they're 12 for 3, you don't know which KL Rahul is going to come into bat. Is it going to be that KL Rahul who's going to come and score that match-winning or match-saving 80 or a big century? Or is it going to be the KL Rahul who comes in, slogs the second ball and gets out and absolutely throws his wicket away? Nobody knows. And this is what it is. This is the trend that has seemed to plague KL Rahul's career both on the field and also off it. We also know about the Coffee with Karan scandal, and before this, KL Rahul was seen as the poster boy of Indian cricket, the young and upcoming cricketer, until the Coffee with Karan episode happened, and then suddenly, out of the blue, this man is banned by the BCCI for a few matches. And if that's not all, since 2021, this man has gone through 6 injuries in just a span of around 3 years. His body not helping him at all. Every time you thought that, okay, he's going to come into his own, he's coming back into form, boom, he would be injured once again. Failures in the 2019 World Cup knockout games, comes back after COVID, has a poor run when it comes to the 2022 T20 World Cup. Lots of questions being raised on him. Does well in the 2023 ODI World Cup, except the final, where he actually is the highest scorer, but a lot of people criticize him for taking a lot of time. This man cannot seem to get it right. Whatever he does, it seems less. This man has an ODI average of 49, but that's not where the issue is. The issue comes with his test career, and that's what we're kind of going to get into a little. Now, statistically speaking, KL Rahul is the worst player for India to have played 50 test matches. He has an average of 34, and as you'll have a look in this chart, he is the person with the lowest average. The person who's next on this list is Ravi Shastri, who isn't even a pure batsman. And if that's not all, we looked at the top 50 worst batting averages for batsmen batting batting 1 to 6 in the entire world. And the only two Indians that feature in this, as you'll see again, are just KL Rahul and Ravi Shastri. Clearly, a lot of people are going to think that KL Rahul has been given an extremely long rope and he's definitely not done justice to his position in that test team. But if I look at the other side of it, he's got 8 test centuries, of which 7 test centuries have come away from home. Just the 1 century at home, a 199 that too. And besides that, he's also come into situations in test cricket where he scored an 80 or a 90 and he saved the team. He's come in and scored tough runs in tough conditions. And this is where I feel he's been given a long rope. Every time you see a string of scores where he's not scoring runs, he pulls out that one knock and then gets a slightly longer rope, and people keep justifying his run based on that single innings, based on the kind of potential that he's apparently shown. And it's very similar to the current captain of the test team, and that's Rohit Sharma, right? KL Rahul today is a little over 32 years, and Rohit Sharma around the same time in his career was struggling in test cricket as well. In fact, around the age of 32 back in 2019 was when Rohit Sharma started hitting his peak in test cricket. Although Rohit Sharma had not played 50 test matches at that point, KL Rahul has already played 50 test matches and has not seemed to show that maturity. But I'd like to think that at 32 now, in his batting peak, KL Rahul might be able to do well in this test season. And this is probably the last chance for KL Rahul to prove his worth anyways. He's no longer opening the innings. You have Jaiswal and Rohit sorted over there. He no longer can come in as a keeper because Rishabh Pant is back from injury. All that leaves him with is exactly what Crickbuzz's title was. It's that single middle order spot in test cricket. And there's a lot of fight, as we know it. You have Sarfaraz Khan just waiting to grab that opportunity. You have so many other batsmen who can come and take that spot, make it their own in a couple of test matches. But KL Rahul, given his experience, given the kind of innings and potential that he has got that spot for now. And he probably has just a few more chances in that middle order to make that spot his own once and for all. The question is, can he make it? Now, this has been our video. Thanks for watching. Definitely let us know if you'd like to see more stuff like this, if you'd like to see a mix of stats, analysis, and a little bit of storytelling. We do videos every Tuesday and Friday. All of our links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Peace.